Coming to the green flag, Gerald Reddington in the 12 car blew a motor. Gerald will have to start 36th on the grid unless someone else in Heat Race 2 blows up. Getting the pole via random draw for the first heat race and the first race of the 2014 season would be Spencer Fullerton in the 73 car. On his outside, we have the 7 of Kyle Sosnowski. Spencer Fullerton would lead the field down to the green flag and would immediately get a huge jump on Kyle Sosnowski into turn 1. Out of turn 2, Dakota Honaker in the 24 car would take the lead from the 73 on the inside. Coming into the tri-oval to complete lap 1, Alex Allen would grab the lead in the 24, however, from the 24. The Dakota in the 24, though, would manage to lead that lap. Ironic how already 2 of the cars that competed for the points championship last year have led a section of the race, Dakota Honaker and Spencer Fullerton. Coming onto the backstretch, Luke Walker in the 100 car would push Alex Allen out of the groove into the outside line. Luke Walker, although he has a bit of a run on the inside, he didn't get a lot of drafting help on the backstretch, and because of that, Alex Allen would actually be able to hold on after these drivers fought side by side for the next lap or so. Down into turn 3 the next lap, TJ Dent would decide to move down to form his own line, driving right around Robert Moss, and this would allow Alex Allen to maintain the lead in that 49 car. At the back of the pack, we have new driver Matthew Stringer in the 87 Intel Motorsports car. He would hit the wall coming into turn 3, and he would end up being on it for quite a while before coming off. It's very difficult to get yourself off the wall without scrubbing off a lot of speed, but luckily Matthew Stringer would do so in time and would be able to draft up to the field before he went out of the draft completely. Alex Allen has had a pretty easy drive so far, but Skylar Dixon wants to change that as he dove to the inside of Alex Allen in turns 1 and 2 and would drive right around with a lot of drafting help from Luka Obrovac and Mark Nutt. Luka Obrovac now going for the lead on the inside, Mark Nutt coming up the middle. All 3 of these lines seem to have to be very strong as Skylar Dixon moves back down to the middle to try and protect that lead. Off of turn 4 as Luka Obrovac and Skylar Dixon battled for the lead. Luke Walker would push it 4 wide with other veterans William Duncan and Mark Nutt. Alex Allen trapped up on the outside there. Believe it or not, these drivers would be able to sort it out, although William Duncan and Mark Nutt were rubbing sides for quite a while. Luckily, as they went into turn 3 this lap, William would would be able to get past Mark Nutt, as Luka Obrovac has taken the lead. Luka's lead would not last for long, however, as Luke Walker, who made that dive on the inside, would end up having it pay off, as he is now our leader. It seems just as quickly as I can announce a new leader, there's another new one, as now Matthew Nicholson in the 66 has just taken the lead from Luke Walker as he was forced up to the outside. And now here comes Matthew Stringer, who just a couple of laps ago was in the wall. Unbelievable how quickly things change at Daytona, and how Matthew Stringer seems to have gotten, well, no damage from that accident. Here comes Richard Trelinsky up on the inside to try and pass Matthew Stringer, and it looks like he's going to get it. Richard Trelinsky, our new leader. Once again, this would not last long as Kyle Sosnowski would get to the inside going into the tri-oval and would take the lead, but that would be short-lived as well, as Damir Bezhianov has a charge on the inside with help from Scott Batista and our pole sitter Spencer Fullerton. Damir would take the lead for now, although Scott Batista looks like he wants to go at it. Scott Batista forces him up high. Spencer Fullerton trying to decide which line to go in. He follows Damir, another veteran. And it looks like these 2 lanes have relatively settled out from the rest of the field right now, as everyone is beginning to settle down into 2 wide racing. Scott Batista, who took the lead on the backstretch, would in fact not lead the lap, as Dakota Honaker ducked to the inside and led the lap. Dakota has a very strong car. This has got to be his second or third time leading today. And here comes Alex Allen, who, again, looks like he has a strong car. This is his second or third time up front now. Alex Allen drove that car pretty hard and got a big gap between himself and Ophelia Endumian in the 2 car. And because of that, Mark Nutt and Skylar Dixon were able to mount a charge on the inside, and Mark Nutt would grab the lead at least for that lap. Here comes Skylar Dixon once again. This is Skylar's second or third time up front today, as here comes William Duncan. Things would actually stagnate for a couple of laps as Skylar Dixon was able to hold off William Duncan's charge and is swapping between the inside and the outside line, not letting the other drivers get a run at her. As now TJ Dent has gotten a run in the 18 car. I almost said Leah Walker, who drove that car last year, but corrected myself there. Anyways, but neither line, because they are completely, because they both have about an equal number of cars, neither line is really getting ahead of the other. So they would stay side by side for the next couple of laps. Eventually, Jeffrey Fingai in the 20 car, the second car on the inside there, in the gray Coors Light machine there, would get a little bit impatient of trying to wait for TJ Dent to make a move on Skylar Dixon, and would make a move to the middle line himself. Look at him flying around the outside of TJ Dent with virtually no drafting help. Skylar Dixon gives him a little there, as Jeffrey Fingai has cleared TJ Dent and is now going after the leader, as it looks like our little mid-race stagnation has pretty much ended, as everyone's beginning to go 3 wide again. Look at Matthew Stringer coming up the middle, and with help from Luke Walker, as now Jeffrey Fingai is getting to the inside of Skylar Dixon. 3 laps to go now. Jeffrey Fingai and Skylar Dixon would remain side by side. This would allow TJ Dent to get a group of his own going on the inside now. As we're coming to the white flag, 1 lap to go here at Daytona in the first heat race of the first round of the season. Which lane? The question now becomes, which lane is the strongest? Coming down the backstretch, it looked like TJ Dent was going to get around Jeffrey Fingai and Skylar Dixon. It doesn't look so now. Skylar Dixon nearly clear of Jeffrey Fingai as we go into turn 3. Nope, still 3 wide. 1 turn to go in the to the finish of the first heat race. All 3 lines pretty much equal still at this point. Who's going to win it? To the line, 3 wide. Skylar Dixon gets it in the 96 car. By 1/100th of a second. That's just 10,000ths of a second if you want to be even more precise. Jeffrey Fingai in the 20 would end up coming home second. That's still quite a lot of championship points. TJ Dent got 3rd. William Duncan got 4th. Damir Bejianov in the 13 managed to grab 5th position. Matthew Nicholson in the 66 got 6th. Mark Nutt got 7th, and Matthew Stringer rounded out the top 8 that got championship points. Heat Race 2, as in Heat Race 1, was determined, the qualifying order was determined by random draw, and Jacob Young grabbed the pole in the 22 car. He got a bit less of a run than Spencer Fullerton got in the first heat race into turn 1. However, he did clear Chris Washer, who started on his outside. Driving down into turn 3, Ilya Bondarenko grabbed the inside and got a group of cars to go with him. And Ilya Bondarenko would take the lead through the turns 3 and 4. Like Heat Race 1, a lot of the leaders would not lead for long, as Ilya Bondarenko was able to lead that lap, but Paul Swanson dove to the inside, coming through the tri-oval, and Paul would grab the lead coming down into turn 1. However, Johnny Appleseed's got a run going on the inside. Tyler Thaber helping him, at least for now. Now Tyler ditching him to have his own go for the lead. The inside was able to mount a very strong run Tyler Faber, Alex Tanker, Mike Doan, and Michael Caine would all be able to clear the rest of the field with a big run through turns 3 and 4. In order to keep the run going, Tyler and Alex Tanker would run single file, trying to keep themselves ahead of the field. However, Johnny Appleseed in the 00 had other ideas, as coming down into turn 3 forced Alex Tanker out of the drafting line and drafted up on Tyler Faber, and Tyler Faber would manage to lead that lap. However, Johnny Appleseed would grab the lead, and this battling has allowed the rest of the field to catch back up. After about a half a lap, Johnny Appleseed was able to clear Tyler Faber, but into the tri-oval, Michael Caine from Great Britain would manage to grab the lead on the inside, as Ty Dent is trying to start a charge on the inside now. Believe it or not, Johnny Appleseed, with his group of cars on the outside, his very strong group of cars, including Tyler Faber and Alex Tanker, was able to get the lead back going into turn 3, and has a big gap between him and the rest of the field. However, William Nicholson just got a little bit of a hint of that draft, and there they go by. Into turn 1 the next lap, William Nicholson was forced up to the outside, Ty Dent having a run in the middle, although it doesn't have a lot of drafting help, and Sawyer Girl, another rookie, having a go on the inside. Looks like Sawyer Girl's going to get it here, as, oh no, Terrence Day making it 4 wide here. This is a bit different than the 4 wide situation in the first races. Those drivers at least had experience. All 4 of these guys are rookies. However, these guys would, believe it or not, be able to sort it out, as now Terrence Day is going for the lead on Sawyer Girl. Down through the stripe, Terrence Day would lead that lap, I think. After being single file in front of the field for about a lap, Andreas Allen would finally get a run on him. Through turn 4, would jump to the inside coming into the tri-oval with some help from Chris Washer, and Andreas Allen would end up taking the lead. However, the middle line into turn 1 and 2 really stagnated, and because of that, Terrence Day and Chris Washer on the outside and inside respectively were able to jump to both sides of Andreas Allen and take first and second spots respectively. Terrence Day continuing to lead here. Terrence Day would once again be challenged though by Pichu London in the 007 car, with our pole sitter Jacob Young right in tow. Pichu would finally clear Terrence Day, one of the first cars to do so in the last few laps, and then Jacob Young would decide to ditch him and make his own line on the bottom. However, Pichu London would get a nice run into turn 1, and Pichu would hold on to that lead. Into turn 4, however, Jacob Young and Mike Doan would both mount charges on Pichu London, and once again, like in Heat Race 1, all 3 of these lines have equal cars, so they would pretty much stagnate for a little while. However, Mike Doan was able to actually take the lead on the inside there, as he had already had a big enough run to do so. Into turn 3, the inside line looks like it's strong again, as Paul Swanson's back to the lead again. Michael Caine trying to have a run on his own as they're 4 wide once again, and Ty Dent's around in the back. Ty Dent got turned by Alex Tanker while going 4 wide. Alex Tanker would be able to save it, and Tyler Faber got a little loose there. But Ty Dent would bring out the caution. Paul Swanson, Jacob Young, and Michael Caine are now effectively battling for the win, because there's only 4 laps to go. This is effectively the final lap. Whoever leads back to the stripe will win the race. Here comes Chris Washer on the bottom, 4 wide into turn 3. Tyler Faber coming up on the inside. Andreas Allen and Jacob Young racing in the middle. Michael Caine trying to get a run. Oh, there's a crash behind him. Paul Swanson involved numerous cars around. Who's going to win the battle to the stripe? Chris Washer wins the heat race by, once again, 0.010 of a second, or 1/100th of a second, and once again tying our previous heat race for the closest finish in HARC history. Out of turn 4, Andreas Allen just slid up a bit too much, sending numerous cars around. Jacob Young, Paul Swanson, James O'Shea, Elliot Bonarenko got a piece, Sawyer Girl got a piece, and Mike Doan got squished up against the wall. A lot of drivers, including Michael Caine, who got passed by Tyler Faber, were a little bit mad that he was driving on the below the yellow line and that HARC didn't end up penalizing him. However, Tyler had been forced down there by the wreck, and then Johnny Appleseed got to his outside as he was trying to merge back onto the racetrack. So Tyler Faber had a perfectly good reason to be down there, and Michael Caine just had no help on the outside, so he was passed by Tyler Faber, who had a bit of a run going. Ilya Bondarenko was called to the pits while under caution, and since he would be at the back of the field no matter what, since everyone else stayed out and didn't have to retire, Ilya Bondarenko decided he might as well just retire that car and go to a backup where he will start 35th in the feature race. So, at a measly 75 miles an hour, Chris Washer would come across the line to win heat race number 2. Brilliant run by him in the to get to the front in that final green flag lap and hold off a lot of hard-charging drivers and avoid the wrecks. Tyler Faber came across second in the 112 car. A little bit of controversy there because of the yellow line, but HARC did not end up penalizing him for that. Michael Caine finished third, Johnny Appleseed fourth, Andreas Allen starts off the season relatively well with fifth. William Nicholson finished sixth, the same as his teammate Matthew Nicholson in the first heat race. Sawyer Girl finished seventh after getting a little bit of a piece and going from dead last to that position off of the final corner. And Mike Doan, who got squished up against the wall, managed to come across the line in 8th place.